Welcome back to another episode of Champion Standard. Today we're celebrating another Thunder victory. Got a big one today. Got OU softball in a battle with South Carolina, and spring football hype train has officially left the station. So here we go. Let's dive into it.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Rob mentioned a few things we got going on today. We're actually watching the OU South Carolina game as we speak, game 2. It's in the bottom of the 7th. I think got a runner on, no out. Pickering's up to bat, so it'd be nice if she could just hit a nice little walk-off right here and call it a game. Yeah, this one's been back and forth. You were right, Rob. It started out 5-0. I'm like, nice. We're gonna have just an easy game, just to sit. Maybe a run rule. Maybe it'll be over by the time we start our pod. Nope. 9-9. Crazy.
There's been some crazy plays in this game. We got 3 homers in a row. That's like, I was like, are we a power hitting team already? Like, we just had Plank on the show like a month and a half ago that was like, oh, we're gonna be a speed team, and I'm like, homer. I'm like, wow. Yep. And then there was another homer in this game. So yeah. I mean, we're rolling as far as
hitting. Before we keep going, please like, subscribe. You can see our handles down there, or whatever they're called. Are they called handles? What's the?
I don't know. I'm not.
It sounds like a good term, right? Yeah, exactly. Love to have you subscribe on YouTube. We made it over that 500 mark last week, so that was fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
Just a nice little milestone of sorts. The softball game. This team, it feels like they're just kind of, they don't have like a Kelly Maxwell yet as a pitcher.
Right.
Just that shut down, go start her game 1. She's going to come out and hold the other team to 2 runs kind of thing. And then defensively, they've just made a bunch of errors the last couple of games. And that's something that, those 4-peat teams always hung their hat on, is just having great defense. And, especially Kenzie Hansen behind the plate was just solid back there. So they got some growing to do on the defensive side of the ball, and then hopefully, I think that pitching staff will just slowly come around. But yeah, they definitely have some sticks. So scoring 9 runs, both games of the SEC. Yeah, that doesn't appear to be a problem. So
right, yeah, they can score, and they've done it in different ways. And you've got Ella Parker that's kind of down in this game too. I mean, we've scored 9 runs, and she's our best hitter who hasn't had to, she's gotten some walk-offs, walks, but she has largely had a huge role in this game, and yet they're still having all these different players show up big for them. Yeah, I think the pitching is definitely they're gonna have to find a good mix there. Somebody's gonna have to get hot. You get into the tournament. This is definitely a tournament team. They're gonna have to find someone that gets hot in the tournament to ice some of these hitters in the tournament. So
yeah, they speaking of home runs, was it the first inning they went back to back to back?
I think so.
Yeah, they went back to back.
They started off hot.
First time they've done that since 2023. Which actually surprised me. Oh, base hit. Game over.
Yep. Nope. Oh.
Sorry, I hope I didn't ruin it for you. Hope it was about the same time.
No, yeah, it was the same time.
Awesome.
Man.
That was a good, hard-fought victory right there.
Yeah. I mean,
and I guess another game 3 is supposed to start in like 45 minutes after this one's over or something too. So there's more softball ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's a
No,
long day in
they
the office.
it is. Yeah.
That's a long day. That's a long day in the office.
Yeah, no, it's like 6 hours of softball at the end of the day. They seem to, I don't know, these softball players, they can seem to play a lot longer than some of the like baseball guys do
Mm-hmm.
for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But you can have a girl go pitch 120 pitches, no big deal, and then just play all day, no big. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good
It's a
win.
lot.
Good win.
Yeah, that was a
Yep.
fantastic win, and getting that first two. I mean, I think they've proven that they're a tournament team, and they're gonna. You could, if this was any other team, Brad, if it wasn't OU
I
on their
know.
logo, they would be a dark horse, right? They would
Yeah.
be a dark horse. This would be like your Floridas and stuff like that, those sneaky teams that come in and take a series from you. And I mean, but because they've got OU on their logo, everyone's just like, no, this isn't the year. No, they're not going to go five. They can't do five. I don't know. Get a
Yeah.
pitcher gets hot. A pitcher gets hot in the tournament. Pitcher gets hot and turns it up, and you just need one.
Right.
With with the amount of hitters they've already found in barely in a half season. I mean,
Hmm.
it looks promising. What do you think, man?
No, same. The hitting's been good, plenty good. They're the last undefeated team in college softball right now, which is funny
Uh huh.
that they're undefeated and it's a rebuild year. But um,
It is.
and I don't think Patty's scheduled. Let me close this down. I don't think she's scheduled very hard to start the season this year
Mm-hmm.
on purpose because she did have this younger team. Ordinarily, she would have scheduled a few more, top teams early on, but I think she just wanted this team to get their feet wet a little bit before they
Yeah.
started playing the good teams. But yeah, no, I think they'll be fine. Good thing is defense. That's something it's coachable, just to kind of limit these errors a little bit, and then
Mm-hmm.
pitching. Kirsten Deal, we've seen her, be solid. So I think she'll be fine. It's just finding those other two or three pitchers, and we're actually down one. I don't know if you heard. Landry Landry has an injury. I don't know what the
Oh,
injury
okay.
is. I there's rumblings it might have been like she got a concussion in practice or something like that. But um, she ordinarily would pitch this third game this evening, but she won't be available. So I'm not sure if we're just going to have to throw out, three or four arms just to get us through the game later on, or if Kirsten Deal comes back and starts that one too. Not sure.
Yeah.
So we'll find out in about an hour or so. But no, they're still the queens until they're knocked off their pedestal, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I beating the 10th ranked team in the country back to back, and for the amount of runs they scored and everything, and their best hitter today so far, Ella Parker didn't really have to do much. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's impressive, man. I mean, they're growing. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just think if this was any other team, people would be like, "Oh, this dark horse for a tournament could win." And but OU in the last four, just people just won't believe that they can do it a fifth time.
Yeah. Everybody in the country outside of the state of Oklahoma and outside of the city of Norman and most of Oklahoma just wants to see us lose this year. They're
Sure.
they're
Yeah.
tired. They're
Yeah.
tired of it. Just like
Yeah.
Alabama, everybody hated Alabama when they were winning all their football natties.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
get it. I like being in this position. I'd like our football team to get in the same spot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. We'll get there.
Yeah. Hey, might as well. Hey, do you want to segue over and talk a little spring football?
Sure. The hype train has definitely left the building.
The
Like
hype
we
train.
had one practice, two practices, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
the most amazing team. Everything
Yeah.
looks great. Everything's rosy." And we're fans, right? We're fans. So it's spring. We're gonna end up being like we're getting mixture of excitement and football's back, even though We lost the dang spring game, which stinks. That stinks, man. I hate that. And
No,
I
I'm
knew it was
glad you
gonna
brought that
happen.
up.
I thought we were
Yeah,
gonna get. I thought we were gonna get one more year. I thought we were gonna get one more. One more. I knew it was gonna be gone eventually, but one more.
yeah. No, I'm glad you brought that up. I guess they got rid of the game. They're calling it what, the Crimson Combine? Is that what it's being? I think that's the
Oh
name they're
God.
giving it. I think it'll just
Okay.
be fans getting to interact with players, and I don't know if there's going to be drills going on or what. Uh,
Yeah.
but it won't look like a real game. Um, I know you were
Yeah.
excited to maybe roll out, tailgate here next month
Yeah.
potentially, and
Yeah.
it just kind of it takes a little bit away from that if there's not an actual game going on that day. Not
Yeah.
that we still can't
No.
tailgate,
I mean, yeah, we
um,
can.
but yeah, that disappointing. Um, I guess most of the big blue bloods and big schools aren't having one, right?
Yeah, I think they're all getting. I mean, Ole Miss canceled theirs pretty much last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it was bound to happen. It's just kind of a bummer. It did happen, but I was hoping OU would do one more. But the if they're gonna end up taking the spring game away, I think it was either Parker Thune or maybe it was George Stoya. I can't remember which one. It was like if you're gonna take that away and you have more access for the fans, NFL training camp is pretty much wide open. Like training camp, you could go and see all kinds of practices for weeks. I've gone to uh Missouri road trip, St. Joseph, I think. I think it's
Mm.
called where the Chiefs go and practice. And it's really cool because you're like right there and you get to see so much and you get to interact with the players and watch practice and be a part of it. That's a lot of fun. Like, I don't know, the college coaches are not used to that. They're not used to having open practices for weeks, like the NFL does. NFL also has a lot of more practice time later in the year, so they get to spend a little bit more private time than what um, college coaches would have if they were to open stuff up. But I'd like to see them do it. I like to see them open up like 5 or 6 practices
Mhm.
and have
Mhm.
fans just go out there and have the kids uh, hang out and watch coaches, watch players, just be a part of it.
Yeah, I guess I saw some rumors. There's, people worried about poaching our players if we have a spring game. You have a couple of breakout players. There's all these different aspects to it, and I never thought that was a deal anyway, because if they're going to find out if you got some difference maker or not without there being a spring game. I mean, there's
Yeah.
way too much stuff on social media not to catch wind of things like that. But
I mean, you see
yeah,
players get poached when they don't even play a down through the season. So, I mean, like it just they all know who's good and who's not good. I mean, and what
Eugene Brooks,
the and like
got
some of the
perfect example. Yeah,
how many spring game heroes did we have that contributed nothing in the season?
a lot.
Those walk-ons and running backs. There's always a running back that goes over
Hmm.
200 yards and he's a third stringer. Wait, there was that Weatherman Jay that would take off running in the spring game. Great
Yeah.
kid, tore it up, had a chance to run in on Owen Field and
Yep.
score touchdowns and have fun and play football. I mean, you're kind of taking away from them. I mean, it doesn't really, and like, you don't want to say you're afraid to get people hurt. I mean, I don't remember it. What was the last player that got hurt in a spring game for OU and lost and
Gosh.
was lost
Yeah.
for the season?
I don't.
Was it Trent Smith? Didn't he get hurt one time
Did he
and
during
lost
the
time in the
actual
season?
game? Yeah. I don't. I can't recall one that was hurt in the game.
Yeah, and your
There's been.
quarterbacks got blue shirts on. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
they just don't want to do it because it's playing an extra game,
Right.
extra money,
Yeah.
extra game, extra money. It's the same exact thing with NFL players in preseason. They count it as a game.
Right.
They're not playing extra games for you got to pay me money. If I'm going to play another preseason, you're going to pay me
Hmm.
money.
Hmm.
That's how I mean.
Yeah, and the season can be a lot longer if you make the playoffs now. So I mean, I get a little bit of that, but
No, it's not.
still,
No,
yeah,
it's 3 months. It's like 3 months after the season, and if the kid is too tired after 3 months, don't play him. It
yeah,
wasn't really for me. It wasn't really to see like, you know, the Mateer would go out there throw a ball a few times and run a series or whatever. But for me, it was actually seeing the depth of the team and seeing some of the future people. Because you're not going to see. I would, your O line would have gotten some good mix in, but yeah, it's just a bummer. It's gone. It's a bummer.
yeah, agreed. So a few early practice notes. It sounds like Mateer's sharp or whatever, but Jaron Kanak moving to tight end, which there was a little bit of rumor of that. So he's been getting some
Yeah.
reps at the tight end position. I think Charlie and the guys reported that Friday or something on TFB. I can't remember, but yeah. So it spring is a perfect time just to get if you want to try some guys out at different positions. I mean, that's the best time to
Hmm.
do it, just to kind of see what you
Yep.
got. Uh, I would love for him to be like a huge surprise coming out of the spring, and all of a sudden we start to have a little bit of depth. I don't. I hate to even say the word depth in the tight end room, but just two or three guys coming out of the spring that can end up being difference makers come fall.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Uh,
was. They've been trying to. I figured that you know tight end. They're trying to overhaul it. Brought in a bunch of kids, moving guys around. That tight end room is a sore spot, and we watching all of the Arbuckle film. He did run some 12 personnel. He always had a blocking tight end. I mean, they were blocking tight ends essentially. There was a very few times they caught the ball. Now it's funny. Some of the times they caught a ball, they actually scored touchdowns. I mean, um, Jaron Kanek would definitely be the smaller as far as 6'2" compared
right.
to some of the other tight ends that Arbuckle's had. But if he can block, I,
Hmm.
that's what we need. We need blocking. Block. Start there. We need counter. They love to run the counter and have the tight end block. Motion him, motion lead, kick out a player. Usually one of the wrap guys or the kick out guys. I mean, he likes to use his tight ends, and they're trying to build up what you mean the depth. They're trying to find blockers,
Hmm.
and if Kanek can block, he's athletic.
Well,
As
and
far as like
he's
catching a
not scared of
ball,
contact. So
he's not scared of contact.
yeah.
Out of all of them, he's probably the one that would, if you get the ball in his hands, he's gonna make somebody miss. Go watch some of his huddle tape. I mean, the first guy don't tackle him. It's usually like the third guy after he's already made one guy miss. He can make some guys miss. You can have some tight end screen game out wide. Some of the stuff that like they kind of did with Bauer a little bit.
Hmm.
In Arbuckle tape last year, he ran some tight end screen where he just a now screen, get it out to the tight end. You could see Kanek get that ball and make somebody miss because he's almost like another receiver, really.
Right. Right.
But can he block? Can we get some blockers? Let's move some people. And the
Right.
thing is, you don't have to be a great blocker in order to be a great blocking tight end. You just hat in hands. We're
Yeah.
not looking like pancaking people. We're just like
Right. Right.
hat in hand, hat placement, hand placement.
And yeah, a few chip blocks every now and then too. And then
Yeah,
um, I guess staying with tight ends. I guess Devon or Davin Mitchell. I forget, how do you say his first name?
I think it's Davin.
Davin. We'll go with Davin. He came in at 275. What's a good weight for a tight end?
Whew.
Is that heavy?
Uh, I man, that's a big boy. 275. Whoo!
Yep. Yeah.
Dang, man. That's a big boy. Like, I 260 I think is the biggest I've seen.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't think I've heard of a of
I wanted to ask you
270
because
plus.
I didn't know what big was for a tight end. So
I mean, I thought it was like between 250 and 265. I mean, you're adding
yeah,
another 10 pounds. You would hope that it's not baby weight, right? He's
right.
maybe got a little baby weight, which is fine. But 270, I mean, I don't know how much the big. You got to go back to like Marcellus Bennett. How big was he?
Oh
He
yeah,
was
he
a
was.
big guy.
Yeah, A&M.
Yes, A&M. He was a
Yeah.
big tight end. Like Martellus Bennett. Sorry,
Okay.
he was 275.
Gotcha.
6'6", 275. Martellus Bennett.
There
Yeah,
you go.
that's Martellus Bennett right there. That's a big boy. Whew. Martellus Bennett was a good tight end too. He was a smooth cat.
Yeah.
He
Oh
was
yeah,
one
for sure.
smooth 6'6" guy.
I was trying to pull up. Charlie posted the spring roster the other day. I was just making sure I wasn't lying, but I'm pretty sure he's listed at 275. So let's see, scanning down
Yeah,
number 84. Yep, 6'4", 275.
golly. Whew.
Yeah.
So like your Travis Kelsey's like around the 260, and Antonio Gates was around 260. Uh, Tony Gonzalez was like 250, 260. I mean, those are just like that 250 to 265 is like that little range. But that
Hmm.
doesn't, I mean, it might be baby weight, Brad. He might just have a little, I mean, he's a young guy. It could just be a little bit of baby weight. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
maybe.
you're gonna have to ask one of those sideline reporters that can tell us if he's like chiseled, but that's a big tight end, man.
Yeah, I
If
was
he
trying
gets
to.
if he can move, whew,
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it all summer when we were talking about how the tight end room was terrible, and like we compared him to the pancake steaks at Golden Corral. Like if that we said it back then, the tight end position is the best friend for the quarterback. Bigger the guy is, and if he's him and the quarterback on the same wavelength, you got him roaming in the middle of the field, a big
Hmm.
target with a big catch radius. Money, money,
Yeah.
money, money.
Couple of other notes. Dominic Williams coming in at 320. David Stone's coming in at 313, so that's a much better starting place for him this year
Hmm.
compared to last year. I want to say he came in at like 295 or something last year.
Yeah,
Who else? Anybody else you're wanting to know about?
that's
Any
actually
of the
pretty impressive coming off of the season too. I
hmm
mean, I would say some of them probably gained a little bad weight after during the off season,
Sure,
and that
sure.
probably will come down here in the next few months, and then it'll probably go back up as they make gains through the summer. They'll all make gains in the summer, get into their best shape, cut down some weight, and then they'll go into the season, and through the season they'll end up losing some of the weight.
Yeah, let's
Not a lot.
see.
I'm just saying it just
Right.
it fluctuates. That's the way like
Yeah,
a guy named Bookie. Remember Bookie, where he
but
would
yeah.
like I mean, he would weigh like 189, 190, like soaking wet at the
Yeah.
beginning of the season. I swear to God, by the time he ended the season, he looked like he was like 170 pounds. Like he looked
Yeah,
tiny.
and I think he was like 5'4" or something. Just a small
Yeah,
guy on the field out there.
yeah.
But there was a few injuries that were mentioned the other day. Uh, Trying to pull that up as well that Charlie posted on TFP. Yeah, here we go. Oh, nope, this isn't it.
This is not recent stuff. This is older stuff, right?
No, it was recent injury updates that I guess Brant had mentioned the other day. What have you heard about Mateer so far?
I mean, the hype train is strong that he's like the best quarterback we've had since name a quarterback that could throw a forward pass.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like the Mayfield comparisons. Please don't compare him to Baker just yet, kind of thing.
Uh, I mean, I mean, he's I mean, he can move. He moves well. I mean, but there's some elements of his game where you're kind of left scratching your head, and we'll get into that later in the next few weeks. We'll break down more of Mateer's game, but he's a baller, man. And I think at right now, if you are off, like if you haven't stepped onto the hype train yet, if you're at the station, you're just waiting for the season to kick off here in the next, I don't know, 6 months. If you're just waiting at the station to really get your excitement levels, you'd say, yeah, he's a good quarterback. He can throw a ball really well. He can sling it. Uh, but he's still a young guy who relies on his legs a lot. He misses opportunities. He misreads some stuff, and he's going to have to further develop his game. And this jump to the SEC level will be a massive jump for him and Arbuckle. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it will be a big jump. So if you're on the hype train, dude he has the it factor because he does. He's the it factor. He people gravitate to him. He oozes success. You know the kid is going to be successful. It's just a matter of time. He's got stardom written in him. It's just like, when is that going to happen? Is it going to be next year? Is
Right.
it going to be this coming? But it's going to happen. If you're on the hype train, it's like you're excited to see what a real offense looks like, because we kind of forgot about what an offense looks like since we were dead last pretty much last year.
Right.
And so yeah, that's I've just been hearing a lot of hype stuff. What do you
Yeah.
got pulled up?
Yeah. So I pulled up the injury post that Charlie did the other day of things that Brent reported
Oh,
the other
okay.
day in his little press conference. So a lot of guys, there's, I don't know, about 10 guys out. A lot of labrum injuries there in that first group. I
Wow,
guess, yeah, Jaden had played with that injury, I think, a lot during the season, from what I understood.
you got some
Um,
misspellings here, man. Jaden's
yeah,
Jay, and
yeah, I don't.
Logan Howland, not Howlands.
Yep, you're gonna have to get on to Charlie about that.
Oh, did he? You
That's
copied
not
and
mine.
pasted it from
You
him?
were calling me out. You didn't know you were calling. Sorry, Charlie. That was Rob that did that, not me. Um, so yeah, and then Afalava, a guy that we like that's coming in, he got his knee cleaned up, and Javante Barnes and his feet, just constantly, nagging him. So uh, and Peyton Bowen, we were wondering last year why his reps were kind of cut short. I guess he had turf toe for a good part of the year, so that'll definitely sideline you
That
quite a
makes
bit.
sense because he
Yep,
he was starting to. It looked like he literally lost a step. Remember on our pod, we were like,
yep,
I'm not sure
yep.
what's going on here, but it looks like he lost a step. And I saw that and I
Hmm.
was like, oh, he lost a toe. So he's got turf toe, which is not easy to play with at all.
No,
Like, turf toe is
no,
pretty bad for a baller. I mean, you could
right,
be out a long time with a turf toe, depending on the degree and everything. But that's a really hard, that's not a fun injury at all.
right. And then Gentry's cleared, but they said, it'll be a no contact thing with him. Just bring him back slow. But he's cleared, and I'm sure he'll be getting some reps slowly after
He,
his shoulder issues.
yeah, yeah, we'll see, man. I make small prayers for Gentry and Dobie and the rest of these guys, but I specifically named Gentry and Dobie for the importance that they have for this coming defense.
Yep.
We really need them to come back, and of course Jaden Gibson as well. But small
Right.
prayers every day, fellas, coming from here,
Yep.
champion standard.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, that's oops, there we go. It's kind of the latest, spring practice opened up. I think guess it was Thursday or Friday. So they've only been practicing for a few days. I'm sure like you said, we'll hear a lot of hype. We'll hear a lot of concern. Probably there'll be a little concern that comes out of spring as well. It's not always sunshine and roses that come out of the
I
spring, but
I just feel like it's a lot of rose-colored glasses out there, man. I just feel like a lot of people have the sunglasses out early, and they're just like, everything's great. Um, yeah, it's fun, it's excitement. We're back into rolling. It's the very, we see football. We see the football. It's like a fan, right? We're fans. We see the football in the air, and we're like, yes, it's coming back.
right,
And we've got like
yeah,
6 months left, 6 months to go. But there are some genuine concerns for this team, and for the coaching staff. I mean,
Hmm.
there's genuine concerns everywhere. Does this team get to 10 wins? We're going to be asking that question all through until kickoff. Are we going to get to 10? Are we going to get to 10? I want 10. I mean, well, this is champion standard. The standard is competing
That's
for
right.
conference
That's right.
championships.
Yep.
To me, 8 and 9 don't get there. Like
It may
10 for
keep,
me, it's
yeah, it may
10.
keep guys' job, but it doesn't satisfy. It doesn't satisfy our need for championship football. So
Yeah, I mean, we want to be because Brad, we had SEC had 6 or 7 teams in November that were genuinely competing for a conference championship. You got to November, and there was about
yeah,
6 or 7 that were
still in the
not
hunt.
all of them controlled their destiny,
Hmm.
but there was 6 or 7 that were. It was that early November. If they won, a few of them, if they won out, they would have gotten in. But there was 6 or 7. If OU's not one of those 6 or 7 come November,
Hmm.
writing's on the wall. But we need 10. We got to have 10 to get to that conference championship to actually be, in my opinion, a genuine pushing the envelope, getting into the SEC championship.
Yeah. There's so many games. I'd almost rather be one of those teams that's like the third best that doesn't play in the SEC championship just to get a week off before the playoffs, kick off. If
Oh,
we
I
are
don't
in
I don't
fact in
like
the
the
playoffs, but I don't. I'm with you. I don't want to roll the dice. I mean, if we get in the SEC championship, you're guaranteed to be a playoff team. I
you
get it.
are. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
So, yeah.
Cuz I don't know, man. We when we had the expanded playoff talk, that we were thinking that we were going to have the SEC could have up to 4 teams get into the playoff. I don't think we'll ever see 4 teams of the SEC get into the playoffs. I think it's going to be 3. I mean,
Ooh,
I hate to say never and ever, but
I'd make a bet with you on that. I think four will happen.
really,
Oh yeah.
this coming year you would take 4? I'll take
No,
3,
not this
man.
coming year. Not this
Oh,
coming year.
okay.
But it'll
Okay.
happen in the next few years. It'll just be one of those things where it's really top heavy. It'll be really top heavy one year, and yeah, for sure. They got three this past year, and who was it? It wasn't South Carolina. Who was the one that was it? Bama that got left out right there at the end.
Bama. Well, we knocked them out. Yeah, I mean we
Yeah, we
knocked them
did.
out. Yeah, we did. We totally did.
So
We
so
we beat their ass, man.
they win that game and they're in. So there's your fourth. So
I actually have a chance to say this. We beat their ass with Zach Alley's defense. Uh-oh.
yeah.
Yeah. Go watch the tape, man.
Oof,
Go
yeah.
watch the tape. That's Zach Alley's defense
I
that we
know.
were like, oh yeah. Anyway, I don't want to go
Yeah.
down that rabbit hole.
No,
I just had an
no.
opportunity to say it. So,
Any other spring talk you want to talk about?
so spring talk. No, I mean it. Just I'm one to withhold my excitement to later in the year. I'm just sort of just listening in and everything, and I do like some how they do have some of the practice open for the reporters to go in there and
Hmm.
actually report on like what's going on. But I kind of agree with some like Thune and Stoya and stuff that they should open it up for fans to go in there and watch too. Yeah, I mean no, that's all I really got.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that this yesterday, which I hate that it was yesterday because it rained all day, but OU had their Future Freaks recruiting deal that they put together. So all the 2026, 2027 guys, there was, I'm looking at Charlie's post here. There was probably, 50 guys on campus potentially over the weekend. And a few of them hung around over the weekend as well. So always a good thing to get a jump on those 27 guys, and then just try to get those 26 guys, closer to commitments here in the next few months. We're actually a little behind, I think, kind of where we were last year as far as commitments go a little bit.
No,
Um,
I think Charlie mentioned that in the
yep,
last,
he did.
it's going to be a kind of a slow burn because of, 2 losing seasons in a row, 2 losing seasons in 3 years. It's going to be a slow burn. Got to get onto the field and win. Got to get on the field and win.
Yeah.
Winning cures all.
Sure does.
Cures everything. It
Everything.
does. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like winning. Just I mean, that Michigan game is going to be massive.
Oh my God. I wish that was I kind of wish that was the third or fourth game, not the second. I just wish we had a little more time getting this offense kind of churning a little bit.
That game is massive on so many levels because we've Bert. I mean, it's gonna, if you get an L there, everything it's just gonna be the next cycle. So we got to get
Yeah.
That's a huge game.
It is.
Huge game.
Yep.
And what's great about that game is you got Sharon, right? And BV, they started their coaching careers at the same time,
Together.
didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
So they started their coaching career, right? No, I'm sorry. Sharon had one less year.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, he had one less year. So Sharon lost all those players to the draft.
Sorry about that. Did you catch that?
So Sharon lost all those players to the draft, lost all those coaches, and he had a huge rebuild just as much as Brent did. Mm-hmm. Did he not? I mean, I mean, it's pretty comparable. All those players gone, all those coaches gone. He has to step in, head coach for the first time, and he's going to roll into Norman. You know, it's going to be physical Big Ten football. They are very proudful of their physicality of Big Ten football. They're going to bring it, and that brand of football that they're proud about. They're gonna bring it to Norman, and they're gonna show us what if we're physical enough.
Yeah,
I think we are. But
yeah, that's one thing I wasn't questioning a whole awful lot last year was our physicality at times. It was just execution on offense more than anything. But I felt like we were a physical team. So another year under our belt too, in the weight rooms is only going to help. So yeah, you're right. Yeah. Game two is where it's at right out of the gate. Second week in September. That's going to be great. I may have to go to that game.
Yeah, I want to go to the game too. Well, I got a buddy that's a huge Wolverine fan.
And I can't remember the last time that Michigan came into Norman.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
Yeah, it's been at least 30 years, put it that way.
Wow, cool.
That I can recall. I can't remember it in the last 25 anyway.
But, so I mean, and also Sharon got a win against Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's beat his rivals. He's had to deal with turnover. He's got quarterback development.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. He's had to find a new quarterback and develop. He's got to beat his Ohio State rival. He's had to replenish his coaching staff. And it's a really good litmus test of where OU football is after 4 years with Brent. Early, super early in the season.
Super early, yeah.
Oh, that's the part. Anyway, I didn't mean to get on Michigan in 25.
No, but... I get it. Yeah, it's a huge game staring us right in the face. Yeah, so that we can kind of wrap up football and softball and move on. I wore my Thunder shirt today just because we don't talk Thunder very often, and we figured it was about time because this team's rolling.
Yeah.
And you mentioned at the top of the podcast they had a big game with Denver this afternoon. Denver actually the second best team in the West right now because the Lakers lost last night. They were kind of second and third, and great game. Started off a little slow. I want to say we got down it was 13-2. You know how NBA is, just big runs and stuff. But I was a little concerned that maybe we weren't up for the game, but we kind of woke up and Shea went for 40.
Yeah, I know.
Shocker.
Shea.
Guy's
Uh,
just a machine.
he Shea, and that's why we call this episode Oklahoma Stars, because you have Shea, Mateer, and Ella Parker are probably the three biggest
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma Stars in the state. And Shea, I watch Thunder. I don't watch a lot. I don't watch all the games. I'm
Same.
kind of
Yeah.
a just yeah. But does it seem like he's gotten better? Like, does it seem like he's like, I don't know, like it's just
No.
laser focused? I don't know. Like, it just looks like he's just because he was already superstar. It's like he went
Mm-hmm.
like superstar and just pushed it to like a whole nother level this year. Watching some of these games, I'm like, dang, this player, he's the best player in the league right now.
Yeah. 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 He's for sure. And yes, he has gotten better. It's, you know how they always say when any guy plays sports, the game just slows down for him.
Hmm.
That's what it is with him. The guy's just very fluid on the court, always in control. Um, you know, driving, knows when to drive, knows when to shoot that fadeaway, knows when to just take a three. Yeah, his game's just very well rounded, and
Yeah.
he's definitely gotten better since he's came to the Thunder. And it was really the two MVP guys going head to head today between him and Luke, not Luca. Uh,
Jokovic. I can't say his name.
yeah,
Jokovic.
yeah, the Denver guy.
Jokovic.
We'll just go with the
Jokovic.
Denver guy. Yeah. So
It's Jokovic, right? Jokovic.
He's won 3 or 4 of his own. So, but I think Shea's already wrapped it up. It's his MVP
Yeah.
already.
Well,
You know, there's
Jokovic was hot. I mean, he broke the NBA record for a 30-20-20 game. Not but like what was that? Like 2 nights ago or whatever, 2 games
mm-hmm.
ago. So I mean, he was hot for this game, but Thunder handled it. I mean, yeah, they were down there for a bit, but after it was their speed, man. They control the tempo of the game. They can rally in defense. You try to get up on them, and you try to get up on them like on the court, fast pace or whatever. They just
Mm-hmm.
outpace you,
Yeah.
and with their tempo and the way that Shea is just like you mentioned, just the game slow down. He's just make all his decision making is like on point, and Jalen Williams was non-existent for the first half. Come in the second half, he starts making plays. If you
Yep.
got Shea playing at that high level, and then you've got a Robin to his Batman, and Jalen Williams going to create as well, and then you sprinkle in some Dort and Holmgren, it there's a reason why this is the most like NBA like loves watching the Thunder. They play fast, they're young, and they
Mm-hmm.
spread the ball around, and you've got a superstar. I think
Yeah.
last year we won a championship with the softball team. I have a feeling we're gonna have another champion on champion standard. We'll do another like little live watch or whatever like we did. I think we're gonna have one, man. I think the Thunder are gonna do it if they're playing at this level through the playoffs. The concerns are, do we find does Jalen Williams and does Shea find his Robin in every game to help him alleviate some pressure, and can we stay with uh, our fitness through the long season? Chet Holmgren kind of got burned out there in the playoffs, and fitness, keep our pace, the tempo, speed. That's our MO to our game is speed, and having to play back to back playoff games at a high level. Playoff basketball is a
Mm-hmm.
whole nother different thing than regular season, and having to play it, over and over again can wear on a team. I, those are the questions, but they've been there, done that. They've got the experience now.
Mm-hmm.
This slowly becoming from a young team to an experienced team. I think they're going to get one. What do you think?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Uh, I think it's there's about 4 or 5 teams that are probably contenders, like real contenders in the league right now, and so I think they can definitely win a title this year. And you mentioned a handful of guys, and they made a couple of nice trades, getting Caruso from the Bulls and Hardenstein from the Knicks to really kind of beef up their lineup with some experienced
Mm-hmm.
guys, that uh, I think it'll help them a ton come playoff time. Just having guys like that on their bench or starting. Hardenstein and Holmgren, they start a lot of times especially against bigger teams. And you mentioned their speed and wanting to get things out in transition, but I think this team hangs their hat on their defense. Probably one of the best defending. I saw a stat the other day. I don't remember who. I think it was Kendrick Perkins posted a stat. They lead in like 12 to 15 different defensive categories.
Nice.
Yeah. So
that's scary. That's real scary. To have that level of offensive production and to be a defensive powerhouse. And Dort, right? Dort. What's his nickname again? Lou Dort.
The Dorture Chamber.
Dorture Chamber. You told me that last year. I was like, what? I didn't even hear about that.
No, that's a good name. He put some guy in the Dorture Chamber to see if he can get out. But Alan Wiggins is a guy that comes off the bench that can just fill it up. He's had a couple of 30, 40-point games, I'm pretty sure. And then, they got depth, defenders. I think that's why we're both sitting here saying they can win a title. It's hard to beat teams that defend as good as they do in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Because you may have a game where you score well, but to do that 4 times against this Thunder defense is just really, really, really difficult. And that's where I think they have a huge edge over some of the other contenders. But Lakers scare me now that they have Luka over there that joined forces with LeBron. LeBron's actually going to be out a couple of weeks with a groin injury, I think.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't know this, but Aaron Wiggins has a 30-point game with versus Portland but last game, and then he has a 41-point game against Sacramento, and a handful of 23, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20-point games. And yeah, that's a lot. That's depth, man. That's a lot of depth. In NBA basketball, you have years where the depth team wins. And then you have obviously the years where the superstar Latin team wins. This is a team that has depth and it has your superstar. It's a really well balanced. How they crafted this roster. It's balanced. They got height with Holmgren, right? They've got the shooters. I mean, I would be surprised if we don't end up actually in the finals. I would be absolutely shocked if we don't make it to the finals.
I think this team goes as far as their perimeter shooting takes them.
They were shaky today.
You can count on the defense every night. And we got some bigs, but it's just how we shoot from the arc a lot of times is going to determine how well we play. And we struggled earlier in the year from the perimeter, but I've heard in the last month or two, we've kind of picked it up a little bit. You just hope that can continue, because I want to say, when we played the Mavericks last year and got knocked out, I think our perimeter shooting kind of let us down a little bit in that series too. And the fact that we didn't have a lot of bigs to help out Holmgren. Now we got Hardenstein to come in and give him some relief. And I just think we have the pieces and tools necessary to make a run at a title that we need so badly here after having all those good teams during the Durant Westbrook years, that should have made runs to more championships. But
I mean, we shot 48% from the field, and we were 13 to 38 from 3 for 34%.
That's not
good.
But
I mean, we still won by double digits, but we need to find that.
You say we were 13 to 38?
Yeah.
I guess that's not terrible.
I don't think that's too terrible. I think Shea was like 2 of 9 or something like that.
He wasn't shooting well.
It wasn't on for him. But So we got Thunder steamrolling. We've got OU softball getting a huge win, back-to-back wins really against South Carolina, and they're starting up again here. And then the hype train has left the building. It all good notes and awesome stuff happening at spring. Whether it's size on players and seeing the football in the air and all the fun stuff, spring stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just ready, man. I'm ready to just fast forward and try to make this offseason short so that we can get to actual football.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, you wanna wrap it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So appreciate everyone tuning in today. Try to throw a little thunder in there for. I know there's a lot of basketball junkies out there, so we'll try to mix that in a little more, especially during the spring here when football is a little quieter. So really appreciate you tuning in. Go watch some more. Go watch some more softball. That's great entertainment these days. So take care and enjoy your week. Boomer Sooner.
Thanks, guys.